Good morning. I'm going to start today's broadcast with the Fire Tablet by Bahá'u'lláh. In the name of God, the most ancient, the most great. Indeed, the hearts are consumed with the fire of separation. Where is the gleaming of the light of thy countenance, O beloved of the worlds? Those who are near unto thee have been abandoned in the darkness of desolation. Where's the shining of the morn of thy reunion, O desire of the worlds? The bodies of thy chosen ones lie quivering on distant sands. Where's the ocean of thy presence, O enchanter of the worlds? Longing hands are uplifted to the heaven of thy grace and generosity. Where are the rains of thy bestowal, O answerer of the worlds? The infidels have arisen in tyranny on every hand. Where is the compelling power of thine ordaining pen, O conqueror of the worlds? The barking of dogs is loud on every side. Where is the lion of the forest of thy might, O chastiser of the worlds? Coldness hath gripped all mankind. Where's the warmth of thy love, O fire of the worlds? Calamity hath reached its height. Where are the signs of thy succor, O salvation of the worlds? Darkness hath enveloped most of the peoples. Where is the brightness of thy splendor, O radiance of the worlds? The necks of men are stretched out in malice. Where are the swords of thy vengeance, O destroyer of the worlds? Abasement hath reached its lowest depth. Where are the emblems of thy glory, O glory of the worlds? Sorrows have afflicted the revealer of thy name, the All-Merciful. Where's the joy of the day spring of thy revelation? O delight of the worlds. Anguish hath befallen all the peoples of the earth. Where are the ensigns of thy gladness, O joy of the worlds? Thou seest the dawning place of thy signs, veiled by evil suggestions. Where are the fingers of thy might, O power of the worlds? Sore thirst hath overcome all men. Where is the river of thy bounty, O mercy of the worlds? Greed hath made captive most of mankind. Where are the embodiments of detachment, O Lord of the worlds? Thou seest this wronged one, lonely, in exile. Where are the hosts of the heaven of thy command, O sovereign of the worlds? I have been forsaken in a foreign land. Where are the emblems of thy faithfulness, O trust of the worlds? The agonies of death have laid hold on all men. Where is the surging of thine ocean of eternal life, O life of the worlds? The whisperings of Satan have been breathed to every creature. Where is the meteor of thy fire, O light of the worlds? The drunkenness of passion hath perverted most of mankind. Where are the day springs of purity, O desire of the worlds? Thou seest this wronged one, veiled in tyranny among the Syrians. Where is the radiance of thy dawning light, O light of the worlds? Thou seest me forbidden to speak forth. Then from where will spring thy melodies, O nightingale of the worlds? Most of the people have been enwrapped in fancy and idle imaginings. Where are the exponents of thy certitude, O assurance of the worlds? Baha is drowning in a sea of tribulation. Where is the ark of thy salvation, O Savior of the worlds? Thou seest the day spring of thine utterance in the darkness of creation. Where is the sun of the heaven of thy grace, O light giver of the worlds? The lamps of truth and purity, of loyalty and honor have been put out. Where are the signs of thine avenging wrath, O mover of the worlds? Canst thou see any who have championed thyself, or who ponder on what hath befallen him in the pathway of thy love? Now doth my pen halt, O beloved of the worlds. The branches of the divine lote tree lie broken by the onrushing gales of destiny. Where are the banners of thy succor, O champion of the worlds? This face is hidden in the dust of slander. Where are the breezes of thy compassion, O mercy of the worlds? The robe of sanctity is sullied by the people of deceit. Where is the vesture of thy holiness, O adorner of the worlds? The sea of grace is stilled for what the hands of men have wrought. Where are the waves of thy bounty, O desire of the worlds? The door leading to the divine presence is locked through the tyranny of thy foes. Where is the key of thy bestowal, O unlocker of the worlds? The leaves are yellowed by the poisoning winds of sedition? Where is the downpour of the clouds of thy bounty, O giver of the worlds? The universe is darkened with the dust of sin. Where are the breezes of thy forgiveness, O forgiver of the worlds? This youth is lonely in a desolate land. Where are the rains of thy bestowal? Where is the rain of thy heavenly grace, O bestower of the worlds? O supreme pen, we have heard thy most sweet call in the eternal realm. Give thou ear unto what the tongue of grandeur uttereth, O wronged one of the worlds. Were it not for the cold, how would the heat of thy words prevail, O expounder of the worlds? Were it not for calamity, how would the sun of thy patience shine, O light of the worlds? Lament not because of the wicked. Thou wert created to bear and endure, O patience of the worlds. How sweet was thy dawning on the horizon of the covenant, among the stirrers of sedition, and thy yearning after God, O love of the worlds. By thee, the banner of independence was planted on the highest peaks, and the sea of bounty surged, O rapture of the worlds. By thine aloneness, the sun of oneness shone, and by thy banishment, the land of unity was adorned. Be patient, O thou exile of the world. We have made abasement the garment of glory, and affliction the adornment of thy temple, O pride of the worlds. Thou seest the hearts are filled with hate, and to overlook is thine, O thou concealer of the sins of the worlds. When the swords flash, go forward. When the shafts fly, press onward, O thou sacrifice of the worlds. Dost thou wail, or shall I wail? Rather shall I weep at the fewness of thy champions. O thou who hast caused the wailing of the worlds. Verily I have heard thy call, O all glorious beloved. And now is the face of Baha flaming with the heat of tribulation, and with the fire of thy shining word, and he hath risen up in faithfulness at the place of sacrifice, looking toward thy pleasure, O ordainer of the worlds. O Ali Akbar, thank thy Lord for this tablet, whence thou canst breathe the fragrance of my meekness, and know what hath beset us in the path of God, the adored of all the worlds. Should all the servants read and ponder this, there shall be kindled in their veins a fire that shall set aflame the worlds. Let's see if I can adjust this picture a little bit. Let's turn now to the Kitáb-Í-Iqán, the Book of Certitude by Bahá'u'lláh. I love this book because it explains some of the metaphorical meanings of the world's holy books. And studying it has taught me how to meditate on the writings so that I can understand some of these things that I don't understand. It has gradually helped me to be able to look at the writings of the holy books myself and ascertain the meanings of these metaphors. So, not only does Baha'u'lláh explain what some of these things mean, but he trains us how to understand it for ourselves. We're starting on page 30. He's about to unravel some of the prophecies from the Bible here. And now concerning his words, the sun shall be darkened, and the moon shall not give light, and the stars shall fall from heaven. By the terms sun and moon, mentioned in the writings of the prophets of God, is not meant solely the sun and moon of the visible universe. Nay, rather manifold are the meanings they have intended for these terms. So there are many different meanings. And he's going to explain some of them. And we can find others. In every instance, they have attached to them a particular significance. So he's saying, each time it refers to a particular thing. Thus, by the sun, in one sense, is meant those sons of truth who rise from the day spring of ancient glory and fill the world with a liberal effusion of grace on high. So what's he talking about there? He's talking about the manifestations of God, as we Baha'is call them. The founders of the world's great religions who have come to every people from age to age to explain the path of God so that people will have the tools they need to find their reason for living and how to attain true happiness. The sons of truth, the manifestations of God, the divine messengers, the founders of the world's religions. These sons of truth, now he's going to tell us, are the universal manifestations of God in the worlds of his attributes and names. In the worlds of his attributes and names. Attributes and names. So, I'm not sure I know the difference exactly, except you could say that the names are like Jesus and Moses and Muhammad and Bahá'u'lláh and White Buffalo Calf Woman and Quetzalcoatl and the Peacemaker and many of whom we don't have knowledge of because the knowledge has been lost, or it's only known, these divine messengers are only known in certain parts of the world, or they're from oral traditions and not written down. But Baha'u'lláh has told us that they have come from the very beginning, always come and always will come. Names, the names of God, attributes. So I guess attributes could be like the all-knowing, the all-wise, the most compassionate, the most merciful. Those would be the attributes. And as we know, those attributes are demonstrated by these divine messengers because we can't know God directly. So it's these divine messengers that symbolize God for us and symbolize these attributes. Even as the visible sun that assisteth as decreed by God, the true one, the adored, in the development of all earthly things, such as the trees, the fruits and colors thereof, the minerals of the earth, and all that may be witnessed in the world of creation. So do the divine luminaries, by their loving care and educative influence, cause the trees of divine unity. Let's talk about divine unity. Baha'u'lláh, all right, we'll finish the sentence and we'll go back. Cause the trees of divine unity, the fruits of his oneness, the leaves of detachment, the blossoms of knowledge and certitude, and the myrtles of wisdom and utterance to exist and be made manifest. So he's saying that these manifestations of God, these divine beings, by their loving care and educative influence, They're here to educate us, cause the trees of divine unity. So, divine unity is the word that Baha'u'lláh gives, or the phrase that Baha'u'lláh gives to explain the relationship between the founders of the world's religions, and to say that they all come from God, that they all are animated by the Spirit of God, or by the Holy Spirit, that they have given up their own will and sublimated it completely in the will of God, and therefore they have become perfect channels of the will and purpose of God. And so they cause the different religions with their guidance, the fruits of his oneness. So when, for instance, we as human beings actually behave as though we're one with all humanity, that's a fruit of the tree of God's oneness, the leaves of detachment. So as we learn to let go of our opinions and our emotions and our positions and our knowledge and our external identities and our desires and our reactivity, we become detached. So these, I don't know what that noise is, but it's annoying. So these founders of the world's religions help us to develop this detachment, the blossoms of knowledge and certitude. So true knowledge comes from these divine messengers. They bring material knowledge as well as spiritual knowledge to the world, and their being or their energy or their teachings is the seed from which grows all the knowledge in the world, the myrtles of wisdom and utterance. So these divine messengers make it possible for us to speak truth and help each other through speech to exist and be made manifest. Thus it is that through the rise of these luminaries of God, the world is made new. The waters of everlasting life stream forth. So let's look at that for a minute, if we can stand this noise in the background. The waters of everlasting life stream forth. So it's the teachings of Jesus and Moses and Muhammad and Buddha and Baha'u'lláh and the Bab and the messengers that came to the indigenous peoples. It's these teachings that are the waters of everlasting life. It's by following these teachings that we attain to everlasting life. Life so that we don't feel dead inside, but we feel alive with the love of God and of humanity. The billows of loving kindness surge through the rise of these luminaries of God. The clouds of grace are gathered, and the breeze of bounty bloweth upon all created things. It is the warmth that these luminaries of God generate, and the undying fires they kindle, which cause the light of the love of God to burn fiercely in the heart of humanity. Let me see if I can see what it is. Can't see it. So it says the undying fires they kindle. For instance, the lovers of Christ endure for over 2,000 years. There's a fire of the love of Christ and so forth, of Moses and white buffalo calf woman, and they They kindle undying fires of the love of God, to burn fiercely in the heart of humanity. It is through the abundant grace of these symbols of detachment that the spirit of life everlasting is breathed into the bodies of the dead. So what does that mean? So the symbols of detachment are these divine messengers, because they are detached from themselves. Again, they're detached from their own personal emotions, their own personal desires, their own personal sense of identity. They're symbols of detachment for us to follow. And the grace that they bring breathes the spirit of life into the bodies of the dead. What does that mean? So until we are awakened to the love of God, to the love of humanity, and until we have embraced the love of God and the love of humanity to the degree that it motivates all of our thoughts and actions, to that degree we're still dead. So these manifestations of detachment, these symbols of detachment, they breathe this divine life into us as we cling to them and to their teachings and to their words. Assuredly, the visible sign is but a sign of the splendor of that day star of truth, that sun which can never have appear a likeness or a rival. So he's saying that the visible sun is a symbol of God's manifestations, who can never have appear a likeness or a rival. They themselves are one. Buddha, Muhammad, Christ, Baha'u'lláh, they're one. And as one essence, they are unrivaled. Through him, or through them, all things live, move, and have their being. Through his grace they are made manifest, and unto him they all return. Through the manifestation we are born, and to the manifestation, the endless manifestations of God, we will all return. From him all things have sprung, and under the treasuries of his revelation they all have repaired. So the revelations of God that have been brought through these messengers have affected everyone in the world. From him all created things did proceed, and to the depositories of his law they did revert. So that's a really heavy paragraph. And let's see. I'm just going to check here and see who's watching that comes up here. And then I'll close with a prayer. And I want to thank you for tuning in today. We will continue our study of the Kitáb-Í-Iqán tomorrow. I'm going to say, oh yeah, I know some of these by heart, but sometimes I need a little prompting. Certainly don't know all of them by heart. from the sweet-scented streams of thine eternity. Give me to drink, O my God, and of the fruits of the tree of thy oneness. Suffer me to taste, O thy glory. I'm going to start again because that noise is distracting me so much and I'm saying it wrong. Try again. From the sweet-scented streams of thine eternity, give me to drink, O my God, and of the fruits of the tree of thy being. Enable me to taste, O my hope. From the crystal springs of thy love, suffer me to quaff, O my glory. And beneath the shadow of thine everlasting providence, let me abide, O my light. Within the meadows of thy nearness before thy presence, make me able to roam, O my beloved. And at the right hand of the throne of thy mercy seat me, O my desire. From the fragrant breezes of thy joy, let a breath pass over me, O my God, and into the heights of the paradise of thy reality. Let me gain admission, O my adored one. To the melodies of the dove of thy oneness, suffer me to hearken, O resplendent one. And through the spirit of thy power and thy might, quicken me, O my provider. In the spirit of thy love, keep me steadfast, O my quickener, and in the path of thy good pleasure, set firm my steps, O my Maker. Within the garden of thine immortality, before thy countenance, let me abide forever. O thou who art merciful unto me. And upon the seat of thy glory, establish me, O thou who art my God. O thou who art my possessor. To the heaven of thy loving kindness lift me up. O my quickener. And unto the day star of thy guidance lead me, O thou my attractor. Before the revelations of thine invisible essence, summon me to be present, O thou who art my origin and my highest wish, and unto the essence of the fragrance of thy beauty, which thou wilt manifest. Cause me to return, O thou who art my God. Potent art thou to do what pleaseth thee. Thou art verily the most exalted, the all-glorious, the all-high.